We are live. This is the NBA Rundown. It's brought to you by Nuke the House. NukeTheHouse.com is the place to be for all the best in sports gambling information. We continue to crush, so we'd love for you to become a member, hop in the Discord, and take advantage of all the great things going on over at Nuke the House, Tyler. But speaking of great things going on, they were not my picks last night. Boy, was I disappointed watching the San Antonio Spurs. And I told you before the show started, Vic looked like a 7'3" Draymond Green. I mean, just a beast defensively. So versatile. But offensively, man, there's not really a lot going on there. And, Chris Paul really didn't look that good either. If you looked at the box score, of course, I watched the game too. But if you looked at the box score, you could see it was the two players we were counting on were the reasons that we did not cover. Because both of them shot terribly from the floor. I felt like the role players did their job. The stars did not show up for the San Antonio Spurs. Maybe we underestimated the Dallas Mavericks. I thought Klay Thompson was washed and he looked great. So I thought CP3 still had something in the tank. He looked washed. I thought Klay Thompson was washed. He still has something in the tank. And I know it's only one game. We're not going to take too much from it, but you have to be excited if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan. Did you watch that one, and what did you see?
Yeah, I didn't have many eyes on that one. I mean, I was bouncing back and forth between the football games last night. Spread the Vikings, they look like trash. The Pitt game, I mean, I know it's a completely different sport. Back and forth between the football games last night. So I know it's a completely different sport, but that college football game where Pitt played Syracuse last night, as a Pittsburgh guy, that was fun to watch. 5 interceptions, 3 pick sixes. So didn't have much basketball on. Kind of box score watching again. It's kind of what I have to do at work, only having one screen. But with no football on tonight, I'll be able to watch more. So pretty much a box score watcher as for basketball last night's spread. So I can give some takes, but at the same time, they're not full legitimate takes. So I don't want to lead the people in the wrong direction.
All right, Tyler. Well, fortunately, I did watch these games, and I can go ahead and let you know what I saw. I just broke down that one game. Let's see, what else do we have on the docket? The Celtics smashed the Wizards. Okay, I didn't watch that one.
That was expected.
Yeah. And then Kings, Timberwolves. Kings can't just get stops. I think they're going to be a good regular season team because they showed they can score with anyone. I think that offense will get better. One thing I'm worried about, though, we've talked about this on other teams, is the addition of DeRozan. Is he kind of just eating into the other usage of the players that we want to have the ball?
I think so.
I know I was really excited about it when we signed him or traded for him. I don't know however that worked. However, it just, I don't know. It means Monk gets less shots. It means Fox gets less shots. Fox isn't in rhythm, and they still can't get a stop. I mean, we got on here and we trashed Julius Randle, and they made him look like, the second coming of Dominique Wilkins. So disappointed in the Kings there. And then finally, I told you before the show, I don't want to overreact to one game unless it's the Denver Nuggets. That's organizational malpractice, what they've done with that organization. That Michael Porter Jr. contract is going to screw them. I think, that's one thing that sucks about the NBA.
But
you sign one bad contract and you're screwed.
That too, spread. We say they're screwed. They won a ring already. Like, I get it. Everyone wants to be a dynasty, but, like, job's done already. You won your ring. Like, if they never win another one, it's like they could still always go back and be like, well, we won that one a few years ago. Like, we got the job done. It wasn't like we were one of those teams that never got the job done.
Yeah, it just sucks because there's players that could be the best player in a championship team, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, and Kevin Durant, that are all on teams that are saddled with a terrible front office or a bad coaching situation in Milwaukee's case. And it's due to just one player, and it just sucks they can't cut him. Like Bradley Beal, $50 million for that guy. All right. Let's dive into tonight's game, though. Feel bad for Denver and their fans because I still think Jokic is arguably the best player in the world right now.
And let's be honest, if things happened, say injuries happened in the playoffs and Denver was the healthy team, things could break right and they could be back in the finals with the team they have right now. Like Jokic could get them there. OKC loses a couple guys.
They have no depth at all. How are they going to get stops?
But just think
Braun.
What if all of a sudden this turns into the injury fest playoffs, what we've seen before, where it's like, Well, now OKC's a shell of what they were. Minnesota's missing Ant. The Lakers are missing one of their two big two. You look around the West at that point, it's like Denver's probably got a shot now.
Yeah, but there's just other teams that are designed that they don't need the whole rest of the league to get hurt in order to be contenders. And I think, like I said, I still contend it's organizational malpractice that you have the best player in the world and you could be running off this huge thing. And because you decided to give a bunch of money to Michael Porter Jr., but you won't pay Bruce Brown or KCP, you're just trash. All right. Let's dive into tonight, Tyler. The one favorite that I like, because I know you get pissed at all my underdogs, but I started off with the favorite. I do like the Philadelphia 76ers. They're laying 5 against the Toronto Raptors, totals 220. Both teams coming off embarrassing losses in their home opener. But Toronto, to me, is not even close. And I know they've decided to go all in on Scotty Barnes. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, he still could develop, but I don't know if he's ever going to be a guy that's going to be the best player on a championship team, and the rest of the roster isn't that good. On the other side of the ball, Philly was able to keep it close in the first quarter. I think Maxi's going to have a much better game tonight. I'd expect them to settle in. They're a much better coach. Toronto's going to know about the coaching aspects of Nick Nurse, and I think they have a better roster overall. So I laid the 5 with Philly. Toronto's a pure fade for me this season.
I don't hate your logic there. I see where you're coming from. I probably don't get involved in this game. If you handed me $100 and said you can only bet this game, I would be with you on Philly. But I just can't trust this Philly team right now. Like, they're missing pieces too. Toronto's missing a ton. It's just one of those games I don't want involved in. But I see where you're coming from being on the Philly side. All
right. Yeah, I love Philly there. A game that I did not get involved with is the Brooklyn Nets. They're catching 11.5, taking on the Orlando Magic. Totals 215. If I did play it, Tyler, I would be on the favorite here. However, I don't want to lay 11.5 this early in the season. I don't really know what to make of the Nets, but they were feisty against the Atlanta Hawks, and they covered the big spread in that one. Now they travel down to Orlando. However, it's a completely different matchup. Atlanta is not very good on the defensive end. The Magic can put the clamps on you. And I talked about KCP leaving Denver earlier. He looked so good in that first game against Miami. To me, it's Magic or pass, but right now I've passed.
I think I'm on the other side than you. I think I would take the Brooklyn here. They're pretty much fully healthy. I mean, you're looking at the injury report. There's not many pieces missing from Brooklyn. Like Trendon Watford's out. What did he do? Like, he can play some minutes, but he's one of those end-of-the-year guys that shows up once everyone else is benched. Ben Simmons is playing basketball. I know that's not a name a lot of people love to hear, but when he's on the floor, Brooklyn's a feisty team, Fred. Like, they can play defense. Cam Thomas can get buckets and keep games close. I think if I had to play this game, I'd be on the 11.5 with Brooklyn. I think they can keep this close. I don't think Orlando can shoot as well from 3 as they did last game. I mean, they didn't shoot that good from 3 all last year, and then game 1, they lit up Miami from 3. So I think this game could stay a little closer. Give me Brooklyn plus the 11.5.
Wow, you're taking an underdog. I love to see it, Tyler. Another game, boy, I would have had even more dogs on the sheet had I not missed some of these line moves, and this is the first one. Pacers were 5.5, and I know there's not that much difference between 5.5 and 4.5. I think it's just the sticker shock or, me kind of refusing to take the worst line here. But I like the Pacers catching points against the Knicks, and it's maybe I'm overreacting. Do you remember when we did we weren't even doing content for the playoffs, but we talked, and I told you I thought the Knicks were going to blow the doors off the Pacers. I thought they were way better at getting stops. I'm like, one team plays defense, the other team doesn't. And the Pacers just consistently outrun the Knicks. I pulled it up earlier. What is it? They're 4-1 in their last 5 games against New York. So, the Pacers just seem to have their number. Obviously, we're not too big on this, but I know plenty of other NBA content that I consume will be talking about the revenge angle here for the Knicks. But to me, it's Pacers plus the points is the way that I look. But I didn't get there because I missed the good number.
Yeah, I'm probably with you. I'd lean Pacers. It's just this Knicks team. I don't like it right now. I'm not sure they can score the ball outside of Jalen Brunson. I really don't like the cat fit. Miles McBride's your next best scorer. There's really no other options to score the ball. Like, Anunoby and Bridges aren't scorers. They're defenders. So if Indiana gets the pace moving in this game, they're just going to run away. So I lean Indiana, but I don't think I play them.
Yeah, I think we both lean that way. Like I said, if I could have got a better number or just the original number, I'd probably be on it. Tyler, I should have waited to bet this one. I bet it at plus 11. It's now plus 11.5. but I'm going to take the Detroit Pistons. I thought the Pacers were lucky to get that cover, and I like what I saw from the new additions of the Detroit Pistons. I think that Tim Hardaway and Tobias Harris give that team a nice blend now between, the young rookie talent and the extreme athleticism. Now you got some veterans in there as well. Jaden Ivey looked really good, and if he didn't get into foul trouble, Pistons probably would have won that game outright. Cade Cunningham continues to develop, and I know the Cavaliers look good, but I told you earlier, I think the Raptors might be the worst team in the NBA, especially with their current injury situation. So I'm going to throw that result out. I'm going to take the plus 11.5 with the Detroit Pistons. What do you think of that play?
I don't hate your idea here, but Cleveland at home has been a monster. They were a monster last year. I'm just going right back to what we did in game one with Cleveland spread. Give me Detroit's team total under 107.5. You look at what they did against this Cleveland team. They've scored 100, 121, 101, 100, 90, 85, 94, 88, 109, and 106. They've topped that team total twice. They've pretty much put out the same roster for the last couple of years. Yes, they've added a couple draft picks, but Thompson isn't playing. They can't score. They only put up 109 on Indiana, who loves to run the pace up. So I just don't see how they score on this big Cleveland defense. Give me Pistons team total under 107.5.
All right.
Leaving the side.
Not really correlated there on our side. So we'll see which one of us gets the bragging rights. The disaster would be if the Pistons go over that team total but still don't cover. Tyler, another dirty dog that I took was the Charlotte Hornets against the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks could barely cover against the Nets. I think we have different views of where we see the Nets right now. I'm not too impressed with them. And the Hornets, they look good. They got a new coach. They seem to be buying in, and they're fairly healthy. Brandon Miller was out, but to be fair, in that win over the Rockets, he was out when the team made their good run. So the team that won the second half against Houston will be back in there. I guess the concern would be like a potential letdown spot, as obviously they were so excited after getting their first win of the season and getting the coach his first win of his head coaching career. But I'm taking the points here. I got the Hornets plus 5.5.
Yeah, I mean, this Hornets team seems like it's going to be fun. LaMelo's climbing my power rankings of favorite players. Literally has nothing to do with his basketball skill. It has everything to do with his PR skills. And watching that dude do an interview is absolutely hilarious. I think I see where you're coming from. Atlanta's just not all that good. But without Brandon Miller, I think he's their best player on Charlotte. I'm probably going to stay away from the side. I'll bet a LaMelo double-double at plus 120, and I'll sprinkle that triple-double. And what number are we getting that at? Let's see. Because I think that there's a possibility he gets both of those home. Like, are we really worried about Clint Capella and these guys just eating up all the boards? They could, but they just don't play the minutes. This should be a faster-paced game. LaMelo could definitely be live for a triple-double in this game. And you just look at some of his numbers and matchups with the Hawks. He's last matchup out, he had 15, 6, and 10. The game before that, 36 and 15, 22, 8, and 11. And then he has one triple-double against Atlanta already, 22, 12, and 11. I think the double-double and the triple-double is my way I'm approaching this game, leaving the side and the total out.
All right. Well, I wish you would join me because I think the Hornets is the right side.
I do think that total's a little low, though. What do you think? 226? Doesn't this rub you as like a 240 game? They get up and down.
What did I have it projected at? Overs are 13 and 6 so far this season. So something to keep in mind. And where am I on my projections? I have it at 226.5, so not a huge edge there.
I lean over.
All right. Tyler, another dog that I took is the Memphis Grizzlies, plus 3.5 against the Rockets. I thought the Grizzlies kind of were victims of altitude there. They should have covered in that Hawks game. The Jazz game in Utah. It just seemed like they fizzled out the end. They allowed them to cover because the Jazz weren't necessarily within striking distance. I like what I've seen from Memphis so far this season, obviously one game, but I thought they looked pretty good in a tough road spot. And of course, Houston coming off that bad loss, but we do have some concerns about Houston. I'm worried they're turning into a kind of a Sacramento light, all offense, no defense. Jalen Green and Şengün, two of our favorite players, but let's be honest, that they can't stop anybody. So they're going to have to outscore this team. On the Memphis side, I think there's a team that can potentially play some really good defense, and I saw that against the Jazz. So once again, I'm taking the points, Tyler. Give me the Grizzlies plus 3.5 in Houston. What do you think?
I'm not sure I agree with that statement that they're all offense, just because I don't think a team coached by the name's eluding me right now. Ime Udoka. Yeah. I don't think a team coached by him could just be lacking defense. Like, he's going to force those guys to play defense. I know they shot terribly in game 1, and Charlotte was able to come back. Memphis should be able to cover here. I think they're a little better, but I think they could be a little bit of a size disadvantage if Edey gets into foul trouble, which he did in game 1. You could see you could see Jalen Green and these guys come right for him and try and get him into foul trouble early and just open up that pathway to the hoop. So I lean Memphis, but I see pathways where Houston does get this win and cover.
All right, man. Once again, we are opposite, so this should be a fun evening for one of us. Tyler, you would have been sick to your stomach if I would have put this bet in earlier. When I did my projections this morning, it was plus 11. Type in all the numbers, go back, and I see 9.5. So it moved 1.5 while I was talking. It was a market move, however, as we didn't get necessarily any news here. But I don't know. I'm not necessarily impressed with the Bucks. Yeah, they did good against the 76ers team, who we don't think is that good. But I don't know. I didn't want to lay 11 at home. At 9.5, I didn't get involved yet, but I definitely would lean towards the Bulls. However, their team kind of sucks too, so that's why I stayed away from this one. But at the opening number of 11, I was going to play Chicago. What do you think?
Yeah, I will probably never play Chicago once this year. I think they are one of the worst teams in the league. I hate their coach. I just don't like the way they're built. And I don't know. I just feel like they've been the thorn in my side the last couple of years. So I stay away from Chicago games. I think Milwaukee wins the game. I think there's pathways where they just blow them out. They're going to shoot 63s a game. Like, there's pathways where they blow this team out. So lean the Bucks, get the job done. Probably don't play it.
Yeah, Bucks always beat up on the Bulls too in this current Giannis iteration of it. Another reason why I stayed away. Okay, so this moved a little bit. The Utah Jazz were minus 3.5 when I did the projections this morning. Logged on before the show. I wanted to see what lines had moved. I was hoping Chicago had moved back, and I was going to bet the 11. But one thing that stood out to me is the Warriors went from minus 3.5 to minus 6.5. That bounced back to 6, and I can see why. I thought the 6.5 was too much. Warriors looked really good in their opening night win. However, was that just showing us how bad the Portland Trailblazers are? You know, I could see that being the case here. Warriors are now laying 6 against the Jazz. Tyler, I didn't bet it, but if I did, I'm taking the Jazz in the points.
Yeah, I'm with you. I take the Jazz in the points. I think it's a weird spot. I know they've played well in Utah. They're 4-1 ATS in their last 5 trips there. But I don't trust this Golden State team. I don't think they're as good as their first game showed. They ran a 12-man rotation. Curry, yeah, he almost got a triple-double, but he shot the ball like shit. So if they're going to rely on all these young guys to try and beat up on these better teams, like Utah's not a really good team, but they are light years better than what Portland put out there. Markkanen could easily take over a game. He put up 30-plus in his first game. They have Kessler that can jam the paint. They have Sexton and these guys that can shoot and get hot. So I lean Utah plus the 6.5. I think they can keep this one close.
All right. Do we want to bet it, or are we just keeping that as a lean?
We'll keep it as a lean for now. Maybe jump in later.
All right, fair enough. Tyler, I hate my breakdown for this one. But the Los Angeles Lakers are minus 1.5 against Phoenix. I wasn't impressed by Phoenix at all. Hold on. Break this one down real quick.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix did not look impressive in their first game. The Lakers did. They got the size advantage for sure down low. And looking at the injury report, it looks like we really don't have anything going on. Beal, Allen, both probable. Vanderbilt's still been out. He's been out for like 3 years. Koloko, Jalen Hood-Schifino, no real injury news. So I'm with you. I lean the Lakers. I mean, what's AD's points prop? There's just no one that can match up.
Although I don't know if he's going to have as good a matchup tonight, though, because Gobert's so easy to beat up. I mean, he's so thin. Nurkic is actually like a real strong man that's going to not allow him to just bully his way in the paint. I think that's the key to tonight. If Nurkic can slow down AD and make this a LeBron-oriented team, and I can't think of the numbers off the top of my head, but they showed the numbers when AD's the leading scorer and the Lakers win percentage is like 70%. When LeBron's the leading scorer, the Lakers win percentage is like 30%. So this team needs to go through Anthony Davis. Hopefully JJ Redick has convinced LeBron of that. Well, not hopefully for me, but hopefully for 50% of the NBA fans because everyone loves the Lakers. But I hate to say it. I think Los Angeles is the right side here. I mean, Phoenix, like,
yeah, I mean,
they can't get stops, and they all do the same thing. The Beal trade was so stupid. The Beal trade's up there with the Westbrook trade and the Jrue Holiday trade is just one of the stupidest trades I've seen in the NBA lately.
Yeah, definitely one of the dumber trades. Looking at AD's numbers, he has done fairly well against Nurkic. In his 4 matchups since Nurkic has been in Phoenix, actually there's 5. He's went for 22-14, 13-5, 27-15, 18-11, and 30-12. So he's put up some decent games against him. I think they can get AD rolling here. So I'm gonna lean the Lakers here. I'm not sure I play it. What is Tyus Jones' assist prop too? Because that's another one. I mean, he got his number up there pretty quick. It was 5.5 last game. If it's anywhere near there again, 6.5 plus money, I would take a stab on that.
All right. The final game, Tyler, I didn't get involved with it, but to me, it's Pelicans or pass, man. I'm not playing this Blazers team. I don't think they're very good. Pelicans are going to be excellent, I believe. Pelicans are laying 6 in Portland. Do you think this is a replay of the other night when Golden State was -6 and we hammered that and it was an easy win?
Yeah, I think so. I think Zion just bullies him in the paint too. Like at 24.5 on him could be an easy prop. I think he comes out and just wrecks havoc in the paint against the Blazers. There's no one really down there that can stop him. Checking his numbers now to see how he's fared against the Blazers. But it's just like the Blazers look like a G League team spread. Like Scoot doesn't look all that good. They really don't have anything else to go off of. I mean, Simons is all right. So,
he's a good scorer, but it's just not a good team. And DeAndre Ayton, give me a break. I mean,
it's not good. I'm with you. I lean the Pelicans, and they're looking like they're pretty full, like almost fully healthy. They're not really missing anything. I think they can cover the spread.
All right. Should we make that an official play? Because I almost did earlier. I just wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, I think we should. And I'm gonna play that Zion points prop for sure at 24.5.
Online. What have they got?
Here are his games versus the Blazers. He's put up 31, 25, 36, 28, 26, 29, 26, and 22.
All right. Oh, this line just moved a lot. Let's put the -6 on the sheet right now. All right, there you have it. That's it for us. Anything else, Tyler?
No, that's it. Couple props, couple winners, and then were you guys only doing the live show on Wednesday nights, or are you guys doing it this weekend?
I'm not going to be on this weekend. They're going to be on this weekend. I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to try and be back on Wednesday. It just moved to 6.5 right when I made this bet, Tyler. Kegs made says who guards Ayton? Who needs to guard Ayton? The guy's lazy.
He guards himself.
He had a better matchup against Golden State, and he couldn't do anything. Yeah, I'm not worried about DeAndre Ayton. Pelicans are a good team. They have size. They play well in the defensively. They commit, and the roster is just so much better. So, hey, if DeAndre Ayton beats me, Kegs made, DeAndre Ayton beats me. So, all right, Tyler, that is it for us. We will be back on Monday. Pretty excited for that. We'll see how we do this weekend. It's going to be a sad weekend for me, Tyler, because you know who the Kings play tomorrow night? The Lakers, and we're going to get smoked. I'm wearing an A shirt.
You'll have them back-to-backs, right? You might beat them.
No, we won't. Our team sucked. I got my buddy. He's like a Lakers fan. He's trying to act nice. Oh, you guys are okay. You guys are going to be okay. I'm like, this team is terrible. You know what? You want me to go off on the Kings one more time? I'm going to go off on one more time, and then we're going off. You know who De'Aaron Fox is starting to remind me of? Derek Carr. Because he says everything right in the media, right? And he's a great guy, too. I mean, you can't help but root for him. I mean, like, all your criticisms of Derek Carr, you can't say that he's a bad human being, right? I mean, he's a good guy. He's someone that you really would look up to. He's a hardworking person. He's made the most of his talent, and he treats other people the right way. And I kind of feel the same way about De'Aaron Fox. Maybe not made the most of his talent, but Carr definitely has. But I hate how he sits in the media and he goes, well, I think we should be contending for a championship this year. Our goal is to win a championship. Show me that on the floor. All I get is a bunch of good interviews, but you can't get it done in the clutch. I'm not seeing the effort on the defensive end. It's like once every 3 or 4 games, so it's just like you talk a good game, but you can't do it. Being a Kings fan sucks, man. All right, buddy. That's it for us. What's your favorite play of the day? And the Pacers moved to +4 during the show.
My favorite play of the day, it's not going to be a side or a toe. Actually, I will give 2 favorite plays of the day. Give me Toronto's team total under 107.5 and give me Zion over 24.5. And then bonus, give me LaMelo double-double at plus money.
All right, of all the bets that we talked about today, Tyler, my favorite is the Detroit Pistons catching 11.5 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's see if we can get a better showing from Cade Cunningham and the boys. Guys, we'll be back on Monday. Thank you for joining us. This is Nuke the House.